Hello guys, welcome to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali, and in this video you will learn how to implement Flutter and Firebase Google sign-in. That is, allow the user to sign in with their Google account using Flutter with Firebase. So let's start this project, and first of all open up your favorite browser and just type this URL. Okay, come to this page, which is github.com/codingcafe1/google_signin. It will redirect you to this page. Then here you have to click on code and click on download zip, and yeah, it has been downloaded, which is this one. Okay, cut this from the downloads and let's close. And then on the desktop we can simply paste it, and then we can simply right click on it and click on extract here. You can now delete this zip file if you want. Okay, let's rename this. So I will give it name as Google sign in. Remove this dash master from it, and we can say Google sign in, Google_sign_in_app. Remember, this name must be in small English alphabets, and do not give any extra space. Okay, do not give space. Instead of space you can use underscore. So anyways, now let's open up the Android Studio, click on open, and all we need is just to navigate to our desktop for this project. Okay, so on the desktop we have this Google sign in app, which is this one, Google sign in app. So yeah, that's it. Now you have to simply select this and press OK. So first of all, if you expand the project, we have the lib folder. Inside the lib we have main.dot, which contains the default code. And for the first time when you open this, we have to set the .sdk path. If let's say in your case it is not set, okay, just in my case it is also not set, which simply means you are seeing this cross on the main.dot. Okay, so you have to simply click on file, click settings. We have to make sure that our path is already set or not. So then we have to go to the languages and frameworks, and inside the languages and frameworks you will see this dot. Click on this dot. Okay, you have to simply check this enable dot support and then simply click on this button. Okay, now in my case my Flutter SDK is inside the C drive, so you have to simply navigate to your Flutter SDK file. Okay, as you can see here, Flutter, inside the Flutter we have bin, inside the bin we have cache, inside the cache we have .sdk. Select this .-sdk and press OK, and then click on apply. Okay, that's it, and click on OK. And after this you will see this enable dot support button, so just click on it. So it will enable the dot support in our project. Now you have to open up the terminal and simply write this command, which is flutter pub get. That's it. You can also run this command automatically by simply clicking here on tools, flutter pub get. Now this command will basically import all the required packages. As you can see, the red lines has been removed successfully after running this command. Now by default we have this simple default code. Okay, on home we have added this scaffold, and if you come here we have this assets folder which contain these two images, which is the google.png and googleback.jpg. okay, we have already added these two images in this project. Also in the pubspec.yaml we have provided the path. If you scroll here, we have added our this assets folder path, as you can see here. Also we have added the Google sign in dependency, okay, the latest new one, and then we have also added the provider dependency in our pubspec.yaml. So yeah, I just want to show you guys this. And now come back here to the main.dot. What we can do is click here before this material app, okay, here, and then click on this yellow bulb and click on this wrap with widget. Okay, and change this widget to multi provider. Okay, just like this. And then in here we can simply say providers, change notifier provider, create context, and we have to redirect a user to the page. Let's create a new dot file. Right click on lib, new dot file, and we can give it name as controller login. Okay, controller login. And here, first of all, let's import the material dot. Then we can create a class. We can give it name as controller login with change notifier. Variable Google sign in now equals to Google sign in. So we create an instance of the Google sign in by the name Google sign in now, and then we can say Google sign in account, and we can give it name as Google sign in account. We need to implement a class, I mean the information that we will get from the user Google account. Okay, we have to display it, so let's create a model class for it. So right click on lib, new dot file, and let's give it name as user details model. Let's create a class. We will give it name as user details model string. The first one that we will get is the display name. Okay, so we can say display name. Then we will get the email and photo URL. So that's why we created these three string type variables. Okay, now we have to pass it to the constructor of user details model. So we can say user detail model this dot display name, comma this dot email, comma this dot photo URL. User details model dot from JSON map the data that we will be getting in form of map. The first one will be a string, the other one will be dynamic, that is any kind of data. Then we can say JSON and in here we can say display name equals to JSON, and here we have to write display name. Now this is the data that we will be getting from Google. Okay, so you must provide the same spelling, okay, which we are getting as JSON object. Okay, we have, it must be like I mean the same spelling which is display name for getting the Google name, okay, your Google account name, and then the other which are the photo URL, okay, and then for the email it is email. And then after this we can say map string comma dynamic to JSON final maps string comma dynamic. Let's give it name as map data equals to map string dynamic semicolon, and we can say map display name equals to this dot display name. Do it for the email and photo URL also, okay, just like this, and then we can return the map data. So what we did here basically is that we get the data from Google, okay, that is the user display name, photo URL and email, and we assign it to these variables. Now then we create another map object by the name map data, and we assign these values to each of them. Okay, that is the display name to our map data display name, similarly for the email and photo URL, and then we return this map data. So now let's come back to our controller login, and here we can simply say user details model. Let's create an instance of our user details model. We will give it the same name, which is user details model, and then we can, so here we can finally allow the user to log in. So you can say allow user to log in, this function which we will implement now. You can say async, and then finally we can say this dot Google sign in account equals to wait for the Google sign in now dot sign in. Now it will basically allow the user to sign in using their Google account. Now of course we will get the data as a JSON from the Google. Okay, so for that purpose we have already created our user details model class. Okay, so using the user details model instance, we can say this dot user details model equals to new user details model. Now we are going to pass the data which we are getting from the Google, okay, for that specific user who is trying to log in. So we are getting his data and we are going to pass it to our user details model class. So we can simply say that is the first parameter, which is our display name, then email and photo URL. So for the display name, in order to get it, we can simply say this dot Google sign in account dot display name, and then similarly we can get the email and then the photo URL. Okay, and after this we can notify the listeners. Now let's come back to our main dot, and then after the context we can simply say controller login, and yeah, that's it. Then we can say child material app. Let's give it name as the title for it will be Google sign in app, and then the theme will be blue, and then we can say home. And now we have to design quickly the user interface for our this app. So for this we will simply create a page by the name login screen. Okay, let's first create this. Okay, so you can say right click on lib, new, and the name of this will be login screen. And then let's quickly say import material dot, then we can create stateful widget. We will give it the name login screen. Okay, and now here we can simply say login screen. As you can see, it is imported automatically, the package. So anyways, now come back here to the login screen. First of all, here at the top we are going to create an instance of the Google sign in. You can give it name as G sign in equals to Google sign in. And then let's quickly design the user interface. So we can say return scaffold, and then the background color will be colors dot white, and then the body of our this page. So here we can call a function which will be by the name login UI controller. Okay, now we will implement this function, of course. Okay, login UI controller. Now above the widget build, here we can say login UI controller, and then we can say return consumer login controller login builder context comma model comma child, put two curly braces, and in we can first check that if the model dot user details model, if this is not equals to null, which simply means if the user is already logged in, then in that case what we want to do, so we will simply return center widget, and now in here basically we will send the user, or you can say we will show the home screen. So I'm going to, which is basically we will display the user details. Okay, so I'm going to give it a comment, user details, show user details. Okay, and let me add a comment here, which simply means if user already logged in, else if the user is not logged in, then what we will do in that case? In that case, we will display the sign-in page. Okay, so we can add a comment here first. We can say show sign-in screen. So let's give it name as not logged in screen. Okay, we will display this screen, which we will implement now. Okay, we will implement this function now. So let's just implement this first. So down here after this function, about the widget build, we can say not logged in screen. We can say return center. For functions or methods, the name must start with small alphabet. Okay, it is the proper way of writing code. Sign in, show sign in screen, or you can say not logged in screen. So anyways, then we can say child column, children widget, padding, threading from all sides, edge insets dot all, from all sides it will be 10, and then we can add the logo first. So we can say image dot asset, and in the assets folder we have an image by the name google back dot jpg, which if I show you, then this one. Okay, and after it we will display the Google sign in button. So after the padding, we can say gesture deductor comma on tap child image dot asset. Let's just copy paste this here, and then the other image, which is by the name google.png. So you can say google.png, the width for which will be 250, and then on the on tab we can simply say provider dot of controller login, before the braces add the singular brackets, and in here we can say controller login, and then inside these parentheses we can simply say context comma listen false. After this we can name basically, which is allow user to login. So we can say dot allow user to login, this one. So this is all about our not logged in screen, if the user is not already logged in. Now the other one, which is if the user is already logged in, then in that case, let me add here a comment also so that you can remember it. If user not logged in, okay, if the user already logged in, then in that case we can call a function which we will implement now, already logged in screen, already logged in screen. Let's implement this quickly. After the not logged in, you can say already logged in. Let's implement this function. So you can say return column children widget. You can say main axis alignment dot center, then cross axis alignment dot center, and then inside the children widget we can first display the user profile picture. So using the circle avatar, we can say background image dot capital I, image dot network. Now here we need to pass the instance of our user details model class in order to access the data. So for that, here when we say already logged in screen, here we can simply pass our this model, okay, and make sure to write here that is child colon, since it is inside the center widget, okay, which is a single child widget. So that's why child, and then we call this, and now we have to receive this as a parameter here. So already logged in screen, okay, remember this function. So we can simply say control login, and let's give it name as model. Now here we, in order to access the data, we can say model dot user details model dot photo URL, if not null, dot image. Make sure to add here the null safety exclamation mark, okay, and then after this let's give it a radius of 100. Now after the image, let's give some space, that is size box of height 20, and then using the row widget children, off of the children we can say main axis alignment dot center. Then let's add an icons dot person, color will be black, then a size box of width 20, and after we will display the display name of a user, okay. So using the text widget we can say model, let's just copy paste this quickly, okay. So we can say model dot user details model dot photo URL. This time we are displaying the name, so we can say display name, okay. Make sure to change it like this, and then we can of course apply some text style on it. So text style, the font weight will be font weight dot bold, then the font size and color. So yeah, this is all about to display the display name. And then after this row, let's give some space here, height from the top 20, and then we can copy paste this row once more time for displaying the email, okay. So let's do the changes here. Here we can say email, and then size box of 20. So after this row again we can say size box of height 20, and then we need to add a logout button quickly. So we can say action chip background color will be black. Let's add an icon to our action chip button. So we can say avatar padding, and inside we apply some padding, then we say child icon logout button, okay, logout icon, as you can see here. Now after the avatar we can say we can set the label for our this action button, okay. After the icon we can say label, and label some padding, and then we say child text logout button, and we apply some text style on it, okay. So our avatar, which means our icon, then our label, and after the label we can say on pressed, that is when a user click on it, what we want to do. So we can say provider dot off controller login context comma listen false dot. Now here let's comment this out. First let's implement our logout function on the controller login. So after the allow user to login function, let's create another one which is to allow user to log out. Async this dot Google sign in account equals to wait Google sign in now dot sign out. User details model, we will make it null since we log out from the app, and then we will notify the listeners. And yeah, that's it. So this is our allow user to log out function. Now come back here to our login screen, and here we can simply say dot allow user to log out. That's it. Now the last thing is basically, as you know, Google sign-in works with Firebase. Okay, so we have to create and connect our this Flutter project to the Firebase. Okay, with the Firebase. So for that, open up your favorite browser and make sure that you are logged in to your Google account. Okay, once you are logged into the Google account, then you can simply search for Firebase console, and you will see this one, which is Firebase console Google. Okay, you can also come here to this page directly by simply typing console.firebase.google.com. Here you will see this create a project button. Click on this, and then here you have to provide your project name. I am going to give it name as Flutter Google sign in tutorial, or let's say app, any name you want to give to it. Okay, so yeah, now I accept the Firebase terms. Click on continue, make sure to enable this, click continue, and then click on accept create project. Click on continue, and now what we need to do, we need to simply come here to the authentication and then click on get started, and then here you will see this Google. Make sure to enable this Google. Okay, and here project support email, you have to provide your default. Okay, you just click here and you will see your email here, and then click save. Now once you save it, come here, click on this gear icon, come here to the project settings, and if you scroll here you will see these icons. Click on this Android icon, and here you have to provide your package name. So come back to your Android Studio. Here you will see this Android. Inside the Android we have app, then inside the app we have build.gradle. Double click on it, and then you need to simply copy this. Okay, this application ID, copy this application ID, come back to the browser, and then paste that here, just like this. And now for the Google sign-in, we have to add our SHA-1 and SHA-256 key. But for now, just click on this register app. We will do that step, okay, later on. And then click next. There is no need to download the Google services JSON file now, and we need to simply copy this line, okay, which is this one, com Google GMS Google services, and we have to add it to the project build.gradle. So come back to the Android Studio, and then in the Android you will see this this one, build.gradle. Okay, this is our Android project build.gradle. Double click on it, and here inside the dependencies, here we have to simply paste it just like this, and then come back to the browser, scroll, and you will see this apply plugin, which is com Google GMS Google services. Copy it. We have to add it to the project app module. okay, build.gradle. So this is our project. Then we have this app. Inside this app we have build.gradle. Double click on it, and if you scroll down, then at the bottom you can simply add it like this. Okay, now come back to the browser and then click next and go to continue to console. Okay, now you will see this. Okay, inside the project settings you will see your app has been registered here, and here we need to add the SHA1 and SHA256 keys, that is the fingerprint. Now how to get the SHA1 and SHA256 fingerprints? This is so simple, which I already show you guys in the last video, in the previous video. If you have not watched that video, then please do watch that video. I will provide the link in the description. You can simply watch that video and get the SHA1 keys. So anyways, my SHA1 keys, which I already get in front of you guys in the previous video. Okay, I hope you have watched that video. If not, then please go and watch that. Copy this SHA1 key. Okay, this one. I mean, in my case, of course, in your case, you can watch that video and get the SHA1 and SHA256 keys. So anyways, now come back here and click on this add fingerprint and paste that here and click save. Then my SHA256 key is this one. Okay, again, please go and watch that video and get your own SHA1 and SHA256 keys. Okay, because every computer has their own keys, SHA1 and SHA256. So anyways, now we can add the SHA256, click save, and which is the easiest way, which I provide in the last video, how to get the SHA1 and SHA256. So anyways, once you do this, we are good to go. The last thing is we have to simply open up a new tab and just go to this URL, which is console.developers.google.com. okay, this URL, just press enter. It will redirect you to this page. Now here you will see this one, which is select a project. Simply click on it. Okay, you have to agree to all of this. Okay, and agree and continue. And then here in the all, you will see your Flutter Firebase project, which is, in my case, it is Flutter Google sign-in app, which I created in front of you guys a few minutes back. Okay, so just click on it. It is now selected, as you can see here. Okay, and now what we need to do, we need to simply click on this auth consent screen. Click on it. And here you will see this, I mean your project auth consent screen. Now here you have to simply click on this edit app, and here you have to provide your app name. So I can simply give it name as Flutter. Let's give it name as login app. Okay, Flutter login app. And then your supported email will be automatically selected. If it is not, then make sure that you select it. And then here you have to provide your app logo. You can choose any image from your computer. For example, I'm going to choose any image from my downloads if I have. So any image you can choose from here. I choose this one. Okay, and then scroll here, and here we have to simply click. Okay, the developer contact information, we have to provide our email here. Okay, so let me provide. And then click on save and continue. Continue. And then scroll, save and continue. Save and continue. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, click on back to dashboard. So yeah, that's it. Now you can simply test the app. So let's just come back to the Android Studio. So now come back here to login screen, and here we had by mistake this semicolon. Make sure to remove it. Okay, just add a comma, not a semicolon. Okay, so anyways, and go back to the browser, and in your Firebase console, in the project settings, we have to download now this Google services.json file. So click on it. It has been downloaded. It is inside the downloads folder, and now inside the Android app folder, here we have to paste it. So what you need to do, you need to simply drag this and leave it inside the app folder and click on refactor. Okay, just like this. Inside the app folder we have this Google services.json file. So yeah, that's it. Now we can test the app. So our app is running now, and this is our UI for the not logged in screen. If you want to make it here at the center, then just come here to the page, which is our inside the lib we have a login screen. So the function which is not logged in screen, here after the column, make sure to add this main axis alignment dot center. And now let's restart the app. So yeah, here you can see now it looks beautiful. Now let's just click on sign in with Google, and here we go. Now if you want to add another Google account, then you can click on this add another account, and here you have to provide your email. Okay, just like this, and click next, then your password, and then click on next button. And here we go, we are logged in successfully. Okay, my Google image, okay, Google image from the Google account, my Google name, and my Google email. Okay, now I can simply log out and log in with a different account by simply clicking on sign in with Google. Let me just log in using this email. And here we go, here you can see it. So that is really cool and really nice.